We are going to discuss the research report that was hypothetically conducted by Casarah Stark and Sally LaVigne. I am Sally and I will be your voiceover today. You know, if this BCBA thing doesn't work out for me, maybe Disney can use me. My character would be stressed out mother, wife, and professional with a superpower to multitask. Okay, enough about my next job. Here's the table of contents, so you know what you're about to listen to. And I'm going to bypass this quickly so you don't change your mind. Now that I have lured you in, here are a couple facts to keep you interested and give you a basis for the research presented. The CDC suggests that we exercise at least 30 minutes a day. Also, research indicates that a healthy and effective way to implement a running routine is to develop a changing Criterion design program. Static conditioning is a perfect example of when to use a single subject changing Criterion design. This design allows for the evaluation of individual athletes' performance. The basis to describe, predict, and test provides individuals the opportunity to create individualized programs, predict the outcomes, and set goals. Then they can evaluate the effectiveness of the program to improve the athlete's performance. We chose to train the individuals to complete the 5K race because there are numerous opportunities to continue performance outside of this study. Each year there are approximately 15,000 5K races in America. It is also an achievable goal for most people, which, as you know, in a changing Criterion design, you need to make goals that can actually be met in a given time period. Also, there are many reasons why people can run these races. They run them to get in shape, for charity, or just because they simply enjoy it. Now, I'm not one of them, so in my case, we forgot to add because it's short. The purpose of the study was to create a running program using automatic feedback and positive reinforcement to assist recreational runners in decreasing the duration of time it takes them to complete a 5K race. To establish social validity, each one of our participants filled out a personal information sheet. They were asked about their current condition as well as goals for the future. There were 3 participants in the study. Sarah was a 45-year-old with a history of distance running, but fell off that wagon and only runs short distances a few days per week. Caroline was a 22-year-old recreational runner who would like to have a competitive completion time in a 5K race. And Sally is a 35-year-old mother of 2 who wants to participate in a 5K charity run. Did I mention she does work out, but she makes it a huge effort to not do any cardio? Materials needed to conduct this study were a TomTom GPS runner watch for each participant. These were used to collect the data that was then uploaded to record the history. A computer with Internet Explorer and an external Wi-Fi hotspot, a USB cable that was used to sync the TomTom watches, and the trainer used a standard handheld stopwatch. Set out to create a 9-week athletic conditioning program that would decrease their 5K run by 20 minutes for each participant. To meet our goals successfully, we turned to evidence-based research, scientific design, and a little old-fashioned creativity. Using stimulus control procedures is commonly used when creating exercise routines for adults and when training runners. We show stimulus control in this study by proving that our independent variable is the reason the dependent variable changes across the Criterion levels by duration measurement. The independent variables in this study were the 9-week training program, automatic positive reinforcement and feedback. The positive reinforcement and feedback were provided immediately while running contingent upon specific progress of criteria. The dependent variable was the amount of time it took the participants to complete the 5K race. To prepare, each participant created a MySport account online. MySport is a website that stores the history of the training for the TomTom. Everyone received a synced TomTom GPS watch. The participants were asked to watch the tutorials offered on the site, to learn how to read the display, the start time, set goals, and use the graphical training partner RACE. Participants could compare current performance to their last run or best time and set goals. Each participant set their goals for the low end of the Criterion. Example, if the phase was 41 to 44 minutes, the goal was set for 41. The watches were required to be worn during each training session and during their timed runs. They were also synced to the computer after those sessions. Baseline data was taken on the duration of the same mapped-out route for 3 days in 1 week. The participants were allowed to run, jog, and walk the route. For validity and integrity purposes, they were required to stay on the left side of the street and were asked not to stray from the GPS route. The treatment phase consisted of 5 separate phases that were conducted over the 9-week program. Each phase varied in length from 1 to 3 weeks. The participants moved to the next phase after reaching the Criterion range for 2 data days. They actually moved through the phases at the same rate. They were also asked not to supplement with any additional workouts during this time. During the treatment phases 1 through 5, each time the participants ran the 5K route, they utilized their TomTom to track the data. When the route was ran on Fridays, the trainer chose a participant to clock and took IOA data using the stopwatch. Also, on every Friday, their watches were synced to upload the race history. Each week, the training program intensified in the degree of difficulty, and each day of training began with a brisk 5-minute warm-up, walk, and stretching. I'm not going to go into detail, but the 3 to 5 days per week workout for all 9 weeks would take forever. But I will give you the gist of it. Each week is discussed in detail on the following slides for you to refer to. Phase 1. The first phase was conducted over a 3-week period of the training program. The Criterion range for this phase was set for 41 to 44 minutes. In the 3 weeks of this phase, the participants were committed to train the same 3 days of each week. Monday and Wednesday were implemented at the track and football field and were identical in training demands, which consisted of alternating jogging and walking. The participants ran the GPS-plotted 5K route each Friday. They used the race element of their TomTom watches, which collected the runtime distance route and allowed for them to set a goal. The TomTom uses automatic feedback feature telling them when they reach different percentages of their goal, such as when they get to 50%, an alarm goes off, when it's 75%, it goes off, and when they reach 100%. Week 2 is similar to Week 1, only differing in the intensity of the Monday and Wednesday training. During their 5K run, they set a competition with themselves and raced their previously best time using the TomTom. This also provided feedback and reinforcement about their performance in comparison to the previous one chosen. It let them know how much farther behind or ahead they were of their previous race. Week 3 again remained the same as Week 2, only in increasing the time and distance of the alternating run-walk. And during the 5K, they used the goal-setting feature for feedback. Phase 2 is conducted during weeks 4 and 5 of the training program. The Criterion range was set for 37 to 40 minutes to complete the 5K. During the track and field training days, the distance and time increased in intensity across the 2 weeks of implementation. The participants had to alternate jogging and walking and finished with ladders or suicides, which also increased in intensity. The notable difference is that during Week 4, the 5K route was only ran on Friday and used the TomTom to compare the performance to a previous time. And in Week 5, the 5K was ran on Friday and Saturday and used the goal-setting feature. The additional route ran increased the workout to 4 days per week. Phase 3 was implemented during weeks 6 and 7 of the training program. The Criterion range was set for 33 to 36 minutes to complete the 5K. For week 6, Monday and Wednesday were at the track and field doing alternating jog and walk for specified distances and ladders. They ran the route on Friday with the competition feature on the TomTom. On Monday and Wednesday during week 7, the participants had to jog 2.5 miles or 25 minutes and finished with 1 set of ladders. They ran the route on Friday and Saturday of this week using both of the tools on their watches, one of them each day. Phase 4 was implemented for 1 week during week 8 of the training program. The Criterion range was set for 29 to 32 minutes. This week they ran 2.7 miles on Monday and Wednesday at the track and completed 2 sets of ladders to finish those days. During this phase, they increased the workout days to 5 days a week. They had to run the route on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Each participant was allowed to use any of the reinforcement strategies provided on their TomTom. Phase 5 was the final change in Criterion and our goal time. It was conducted for 1 week during week 9 of the training program. The Criterion range was set for 25 to 28 minutes. On Monday and Wednesday of this week, they began their training by completing 2 sets of ladders, then ran 3 miles at the track. They ran the route on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Each participant again was allowed to use any of the reinforcement strategies provided on their TomTom. The results of Phase 1 showed that each participant met the criterion set for the phase. All of their individual times fell within the criterion range. The results of Phase 2 showed the same results. All of the individuals' 3 trials of the route fell in between the criterion range. Again, the Phase 3 results indicate that the timed runs, again, fell in between the criterion range for all 3 participants and all of their opportunities. And yet again, Phase 4 shows the same experimental control. Everyone met their goals. Phase 5 was the final change in criterion and the goal run time of the participants. And as you can see, they all did get their times within the criterion range. The results indicate that the use of goal setting and a gradually changing criterion combined with automated feedback and positive reinforcement was effective in decreasing the amount of time it took each of the 3 participants to complete a 5K race by 20 minutes. The consistency of the data indicated a functional relation between the behavioral changes and the independent variables. Here's the graphical representation of Sarah's results. Here are the results for Caroline and for Sally's. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for spending the last 12 minutes with me. Bye.